Have you ever noticed that women don't open up to just anyone? They may talk, laugh, and even flirt with many men, but when a woman truly shares something deep, it means you're different. It's not about luck, it's not about charm, and it's definitely not about playing mind games. It's about something far more valuable: trust and emotional depth. Think about it. In a world where people hide behind filters, masks, and half-truths, real emotional connection is rare. Women don't just open their hearts to men who entertain them for a moment. They do it with men who make them feel seen, understood, and safe. But here's the thing. Most men miss these moments because they're too focused on saying the right thing instead of being the right man. Welcome back to Stoic Spirit. This video will break down 5 powerful things a woman only shares with a man she sees as truly special. If she does these with you, congratulations, you stand out. But if she hasn't yet, don't worry. This isn't about chasing or changing yourself to impress someone. By the end of this video, you'll know how to naturally build that kind of deep connection without forcing it, without games, and without losing your sense of self. So stay with me, because the last sign is the rarest and the most powerful. And once you understand it, your entire perspective on relationships will change forever. Before we begin, do me a quick favor. Hit the like button if you're ready to upgrade your mindset. Subscribe to Stoic Spirit so you never miss out on content that helps you become stronger, wiser, and more in control of your life. And let me know in the comments, have you ever had a woman open up to you in a way that made you realize you were different from other men? All right, let's dive in. Number 1, she shares her fears and trusts you not to fix them. Most men get this wrong because they don't understand the deeper psychology at play. When a woman opens up about her fears, it's not an invitation to give advice or fix the problem. It's a test of how safe she feels around you. If she tells you something personal, like her insecurities, doubts, or fears, it means she's lowering her guard, and what you do next determines whether she'll ever do it again. Example, she tells you, "I feel like I'm falling behind in life." The average guy reacts with instant reassurance. "No way, you're doing great." He thinks he's helping, but what he's really doing is shutting down the conversation before it even begins. A high-value man pauses, holds eye contact, and says, "That sounds tough. Tell me more." He gives her space to fully express herself. What's really happening here? When a woman shares a fear, she's not looking for a solution. She's looking for a moment of connection. Imagine this. You're struggling with something in your own life, and instead of someone telling you it's not a big deal, they sit with you in that discomfort and just listen. That's what she wants. Most men fail at this because they feel uncomfortable with negative emotions. They think, if she's upset, I must do something. But you don't need to do anything, except be present. Actionable tips to apply this instantly. Pause before responding. When she shares something vulnerable, resist the urge to react immediately. Take a breath. Let her words sink in. Validate, don't minimize. Instead of saying, "You shouldn't feel that way," say, "That sounds really tough. I get why you'd feel that way. That makes a lot of sense. I can see why that's on your mind. That's a lot to carry. How have you been handling it?" Ask one thoughtful question. Instead of jumping into fixer mode, try, "How long have you been feeling this way? What do you think would help? I'm here. What do you need from me right now?" Why does this matter? Because women don't just share their fears with anyone. They only do this when they trust you. And trust isn't built by giving advice, it's built by giving space. If she feels like you understand her, she'll open up more. But if she feels like you're dismissing or rushing past her emotions, she'll start pulling away, emotionally and physically. Try this right now. The next time someone shares a personal struggle with you, whether it's a friend, family member, or a woman you're dating, pause before speaking. Instead of offering solutions, say, "That sounds really difficult. I'm here for you." Watch how this completely changes the energy of the conversation. Most men listen to respond. High-value men listen to understand. That's what makes the difference. While fears reveal her vulnerabilities, her childhood explains her foundations. Let's explore why understanding where she came from is key to knowing where she's headed. Number 2, She talks about her childhood, the unfiltered version. When a woman starts talking about her childhood, it's not just small talk or nostalgia, it's something much deeper. She's revealing where she came from, what shaped her, and in many cases, what wounds she still carries. Most people walk around with unspoken emotional scars from their early years, and when she shares hers with you, it means she sees you as someone she can trust. This isn't something women do with just any man. If she talks to you about her childhood in a raw, unfiltered way, she's inviting you into her inner world. But here's where most men fail the test. They make it about themselves. Or worse, they brush it off as just another story. Example, she tells you, growing up, I never really felt seen by my parents. I always had to be the responsible one. And sometimes it felt like no one really cared what I wanted. The wrong response. Oh yeah, my childhood was tough too. You may think you're relating to her, but in reality, you just shifted the focus onto yourself. The moment she started to open up, you closed the door by redirecting the conversation. The right response. That must have been really hard. Do you feel like that shaped the way you see relationships today? By responding this way, you're acknowledging her emotions without overshadowing them. You're showing that you're listening, that you care, and that you're emotionally intelligent enough to explore her world without judgment. Why this matters. A woman's childhood is often the blueprint for her emotional triggers, her fears, and the way she navigates relationships. If she grew up feeling unheard, she may crave deep conversations, but also fear being ignored. If she had to be the caretaker in her family, she may struggle with being vulnerable because she's so used to taking care of others. When she shares these things with you, she's not just telling you about the past, she's showing you how she experiences the present. How to build a stronger connection. Instead of just listening to the surface-level details of her childhood, pay attention to the patterns in her stories. They will often tell you what makes her feel safe or unsafe in relationships, why certain things trigger strong emotional reactions in her, how she processes love, trust, and intimacy. If you can understand where she's coming from, you'll understand how to communicate with her on a deeper level than most men ever will. Practical ways to apply this. Ask thoughtful questions. Instead of moving on quickly, ask something like, what was the best part of your childhood? What's something from your childhood that still sticks with you today? Do you feel like your past shaped the way you approach relationships now? These questions don't just keep the conversation going. They make her feel heard, valued, and emotionally safe. Don't offer solutions. Offer presence. If she shares something painful, don't jump in with advice. Instead say, that must have been really difficult. How do you feel about it now? I can see why that would have been tough. That's a lot for a kid to handle. By validating her emotions instead of trying to fix them, you create a space where she feels comfortable being vulnerable. Pay attention to the emotion behind her words. Sometimes what she says and what she feels are two different things. If she laughs while telling a painful story, that might be a sign she's still carrying emotional weight from it. Instead of just laughing along, you might say, it sounds like that was a hard time for you. Did you feel like you had to be strong all the time? This shows that you're emotionally present enough to notice the deeper layers of what she's sharing. Final thought. Women don't just share their childhood stories for fun. They do it with people they trust. If she's opening up to you about her past, it means she sees you as someone worth letting in. And the way you respond will determine whether she keeps sharing or whether she starts pulling away. If her childhood stories show you who she was, her dreams reveal who she wants to become. And how you respond to them determines whether you belong in that future. While childhood reveals where she's been, her dreams reveal where she's headed. And how you respond to them will determine if you belong in that future. Number 3. She shares her dreams and watches how you react. When a woman shares her dreams with you, it's never just casual conversation. It's a test, a subconscious one. She's observing how you react, not just to see if you support her, but to gauge whether you're secure enough in yourself to handle her ambition. Many men fail this test without even realizing it. Some try to be practical by listing all the reasons her dreams might not work. Others respond with passive indifference, giving half-hearted responses that make her feel unheard. And then there are those who deep down feel intimidated by her vision, so they subtly discourage her. The reality is, when a woman shares her dreams, she's revealing a deeper part of herself. Her hopes, her passions, her purpose. And if you belittle or downplay them, you send a clear message: I don't believe in you. Example, she says, I want to start my own business one day. The weak response, that sounds hard, are you sure? This instantly plants doubt in her mind. It makes her feel unsupported, as if she should rethink her potential. The strong response, that's amazing, what's your first step? This validates her vision while also encouraging action. It shows you see her as capable and driven, rather than someone who needs to be realistic. Why this matters? A woman's dreams are deeply personal. They reflect who she wants to become and how she sees her future. If she shares them with you, she's not just letting you into her plans, she's seeing if you fit into them. The way you respond in that moment will shape how she sees you. Do you uplift her or make her question herself? Do you expand her mindset or shrink it? Do you inspire her to move forward or do you plant seeds of doubt? A high-value man doesn't just admire a woman's dreams, he respects them. He doesn't feel threatened by her ambitions because he has his own. How to build a stronger connection through this? Instead of brushing off or downplaying her goals, show that you're a man who supports and challenges her growth. Ask thoughtful questions. What made you passionate about this? That's incredible. What's the next step for you? How can I support you in making that happen? These types of questions make her feel heard and understood. They also help her clarify her own goals, which makes you stand out from other men who only offer generic responses. Recognize the emotional weight behind her dreams. Many women grow up being told to play it safe or that their goals are too ambitious. If she's sharing her vision with you, it might mean she hasn't had many people truly believe in her. Your words can either reinforce her doubts or give her the confidence to keep going. Don't feel the need to one-up her. Some men, in an attempt to sound impressive, will immediately shift the focus onto themselves. If she says, I really want to travel the world and work remotely one day, a weak response would be, yeah, I've already been to 10 countries. Instead of making it about yourself, engage with her passion. That's incredible. What's the first country you'd visit? This keeps the focus on her vision, not your accomplishments. Actionable steps to apply this instantly. The next time she mentions a goal, notice your reaction. Do you instinctively try to ground her in reality? Do you change the subject, or do you lean in, ask more, and encourage her? Your reaction isn't just about the conversation, it's about how you make her feel. If you don't understand her dream, show curiosity instead of judgment. You don't have to fully relate to her goal to support it. If she says she wants to be an artist, a CEO, a nonprofit founder, you don't have to get it, but you do have to respect it. Try saying, that's really interesting. What made you want to pursue that, instead of questioning its practicality? Encourage, but don't be fake. Women can tell the difference between genuine support and empty flattery. If she tells you she wants to be an astronaut, don't just say, that's amazing, you'll be great. Say, that's a big dream. What inspired it? Showing real curiosity makes your support feel authentic. Final thought. A woman doesn't just want a man who tolerates her dreams, she wants a man who respects them. If she's sharing her vision for the future with you, it means she's considering whether you belong in that future. The best way to pass that test? Support her without hesitation, ask meaningful questions, and never make her feel small for wanting something big. While dreams shape the future, past relationships shape expectations. When she talks about her ex, listen carefully, not for gossip, but for wisdom. Which of these signs have you experienced before? Drop a comment. I read every response. Understanding her past helps you understand her present. But what about her future? That's where her dreams come in. Number 4. She talks about her past relationships, but not for the reason you think. When a woman brings up her past relationships, many men assume it's because she's not over her ex. They hear her mention a former partner and instantly feel threatened or assume she's still emotionally attached. But in reality, she's not talking about her ex, she's talking about herself. Women don't casually share their past relationships just to revisit old wounds. If she's telling you about it, it's because she's revealing what hurt her, what she learned, and what she refuses to tolerate again. The biggest mistake men make in these moments: they either dismiss the conversation, badmouth the ex, or try to prove they're different without actually listening. Example, she says, "My last relationship ended because I felt unappreciated." The wrong response: "That guy was stupid. I'd never do that to you." This might seem supportive, but it actually shuts down the conversation and makes it about your ego rather than her experience. The right response: "I get that. What makes you feel appreciated?" This invites her to share more, deepening the emotional connection and showing her that you care about her feelings, not just proving yourself better than someone else. Why this matters? A woman's past relationships are often her greatest teachers. They've shaped her beliefs about love, trust, and what she will and won't accept. If she's opening up to you about these experiences, she's not looking for your opinion on her ex. She's trying to see if you're emotionally intelligent enough to understand what she needs. The way you respond will tell her one of two things: you truly listen, understand, and respect her emotional world. You're just another guy who doesn't get it. And if it's the second one, she'll stop sharing. How to handle this conversation like a high-value man. Most men think these moments are about competition, trying to outshine her ex. But a high-value man understands that these conversations are actually about clarity, understanding who she is, what she values, and where you fit into her emotional world. Instead of just hearing her words, learn to read between the lines. If she says, "My ex never made me feel heard," she's telling you she values communication and emotional connection. "He never supported my goals." She's revealing that she needs a partner who respects her ambitions. "I felt like I was always the one giving." She's saying she needs reciprocity, not one-sided effort. If you ignore these cues, you'll end up making the same mistakes her ex did. How to strengthen your connection through this conversation. Stay curious, not defensive. Many men instantly feel insecure when a woman brings up her past. They either change the subject or try to reassure her with empty promises. Instead, stay open and ask thoughtful questions. "That sounds tough. How did you handle that? What did you learn from that experience? How do you think that shaped what you're looking for now?" This shows that you're emotionally secure enough to have real conversations. Avoid trash-talking her ex. It might be tempting to say, "Wow, what a jerk, I'd never do that." But this adds zero value to the conversation. She doesn't need you to bash her ex, she needs you to understand her. Instead, acknowledge her feelings. "That must have been hard. I get why that would leave a lasting impact." This lets her feel heard rather than rush through her emotions. Recognize that she's not asking for reassurance, she's looking for alignment. She's not looking for you to say, "I'm different from him." She's looking to see if your values and actions naturally align with what she wants in a partner. Actionable steps to apply this instantly. Next time she talks about her past, pause before responding. Don't instinctively try to fix the conversation or prove yourself better. Listen for the pattern. What emotions, themes, and frustrations keep coming up? That's what she's actually telling you. Ask a question that moves the conversation deeper. Instead of offering an opinion on her ex, ask something that brings the focus back to her personal growth. What's something that experience taught you about yourself? What's the most important thing you want in a relationship now? Final thought. Women don't talk about their past relationships lightly. If she's sharing these experiences with you, it's not because she's stuck in the past. It's because she's giving you the chance to understand her present and future. And how you respond will determine whether she sees you as just another man in her life or someone truly different. Her past relationships taught her what she can't tolerate. But when she shows you her vulnerability, she's testing whether you're truly different. Which of these signs have you experienced before? Drop a comment. I read every response. Number 5. She lets you see her vulnerability. the ultimate test. This is the rarest and most powerful sign of all. When a woman allows you to see her at her most unguarded, it's not just about emotions, it's about trust. In a world that often tells women to be strong, put together, and emotionally resilient, showing vulnerability is a risk, and she will only take that risk with someone she feels completely safe with. Imagine a woman who has spent her whole life being told to stay strong, hold it together, and never show weakness. Then one night, she breaks down in front of you. Not because she's weak, but because she finally feels safe enough to let go. That's not just vulnerability, that's trust. Most men think vulnerability is just about crying, but it's much deeper than that. Vulnerability is when she lets you see her uncertainty, her struggles, her fears, the parts of herself she doesn't share with the world. If she allows you into that space, it means she sees you as someone who won't judge her, dismiss her, or use it against her. But here's where most men fail. They try to fix it. When a woman is overwhelmed, stressed, or emotional, the average man's instinct is to solve the problem immediately. He wants to take away the pain, give advice, or reassure her that everything is fine. But that's not what she needs. Example, she's stressed, overwhelmed, or on the verge of tears. The wrong reaction. Don't cry. It's not a big deal. This completely invalidates her emotions, making her feel like she's overreacting or being dramatic. The right reaction. I'm here. Take your time. This gives her the space to process her emotions without feeling like she needs to suppress them for your comfort. Why this matters? For many women, being vulnerable is rare. Society often conditions them to be the ones who hold things together, to be emotionally strong, to carry the weight of other people's emotions while keeping theirs hidden. So if she breaks down in front of you, shares her raw emotions, or admits she's struggling, she's not looking for solutions. She's looking for a safe place where she can simply be. This is not a weakness, it's a test of emotional depth. She's watching to see, can you handle her emotions without making it about you? Can you sit with discomfort without rushing to fix her? Can you be present, steady, and grounded while she processes what she's feeling? If you pass this test, you become one of the few men she truly trusts on an emotional level. How to handle her vulnerability. Like a high-value man. Don't try to fix the problem. Women process emotions differently than men. While men often want to take action, women need to feel their emotions before they move past them. If she's upset, don't tell her to stop crying. Don't say, it's not that bad. Just let her feel. Try saying, that sounds really overwhelming. I'm here. You don't have to explain anything. Just take your time. Stay present and grounded. Many men get uncomfortable when a woman expresses deep emotions. They either shut down, get frustrated, or try to change the subject. Don't be that guy. Instead, hold space for her. Stay calm, stay present, and let her process without feeling like she's being a burden. Resist the urge to give advice. This is one of the hardest things for men to do. You might think, if she's struggling, I should give her a solution. But in that moment, she doesn't need logic. She needs presence. Instead of offering advice, ask, do you want to talk about it, or just sit for a bit? This gives her control over the conversation and shows you're there to support, not direct. Understand that vulnerability builds deeper attraction. A woman will not show this side of herself to a man she doesn't trust. If she hides her emotions from you, it means she doesn't feel safe enough to let her guard down. But if she shares her raw, unfiltered emotions with you, it's because she sees you as someone different. Actionable steps to apply this instantly. The next time she's emotional, observe yourself. Do you feel uncomfortable? Do you instinctively try to fix the problem? If so, pause. Instead of reacting, just listen. Practice giving space instead of solutions. If she's venting about something, instead of saying, you should do this, try saying, that sounds really difficult. What do you need right now? I hear you, that's a lot to deal with. This makes her feel understood, rather than just advised. Pay attention to how she responds to your presence. If a woman feels emotionally safe around you, she'll start opening up more. If she stops sharing her emotions, it could mean she feels unheard or dismissed. Final thought. Women don't show vulnerability to men they don't trust. If she does this with you, you've earned a level of closeness most men never will. How you respond will determine whether she continues to trust you on this level or whether she learns to hide this side of herself from you. And if you can handle her emotions with strength, presence, and understanding, you become more than just another man in her life. You become the man she trusts above all others. Final thoughts. Why this matters. Women don't share these things with just anyone. If she lets you into her emotional world, it means you stand out, not because you asked for her trust, but because you became the kind of man she could trust naturally. This isn't about tactics or playing mind games. It's about who you are at your core. A woman feels safe opening up to a man who is steady, emotionally intelligent, and secure in himself. When you embody these traits, trust follows effortlessly. But here's the reality. Trust isn't built in a single moment. It's built in how you show up over time. It's in the way you listen, how you handle conflict, and whether you create a space where she can be fully herself, without fear of judgment, rejection, or dismissal. If she hasn't opened up to you like this yet, don't force it. Trust isn't something you can demand. It's something you earn through consistency, presence, and emotional depth. And sometimes the best way to build trust isn't by saying the perfect words. It's by simply being the kind of man who doesn't need to prove himself. A question for you. Think back to a moment when a woman shared something deeply personal with you. Did you listen, or did you rush to fix it? Did you hold space, or did you get uncomfortable? Did you make her feel safe, or did you unknowingly shut her down? If you've ever experienced a moment like this, share your thoughts in the comments. I read every response. If this resonated with you, like this video if you found value in it. Subscribe for more Stoic wisdom on relationships, self-mastery, and emotional strength. Drop a comment saying, "I am the safe space to affirm your commitment to becoming a grounded, trustworthy man." A final thought. You don't earn trust by demanding it. You earn it by being unshakable, reliable, and present. When you become that man, the right woman will recognize it. You thought earning her trust was the goal, but in reality, it was just the beginning. The real challenge, becoming the man who never needs to prove himself in the first place. Thank you for watching. Your time, your presence, and your growth mean more than words can say. Stay stoic, stay strong. And remember, real strength isn't in controlling others, it's in mastering yourself.